Hi, beautiful. Welcome to the Know Herself podcast. Go ahead and pour yourself a cup of tea, pull up a chair, do whatever it is you need to get comfortable because on today's episode, we're going to be talking about what nobody actually tells you about doing the work. How many of us have fell into the trap of seeing somebody giving out information online about how we can achieve our goals, how we can make more money, or start such and such business, or create this product we've been wanting to create. And we purchase the course, you get all of the information, and once you finish really going through everything, nothing actually happens. You're still stuck. It's just now you have more information. I will tell on myself a little bit here. This has definitely happened to me. I've purchased courses before, hoping that if I get the right information from the right person, that it'll help me move along, move further ahead, get to where I want to be a little bit quicker. But it never actually happens. And I'm not bringing this up to downplay courses or entrepreneurs who sell their information. I see absolutely nothing wrong with that. I bring this up because what I really want to highlight and what they're not telling their clients is that in order to see real growth, and I've said this before, I'm going to say it again, you have to take action. All of the information in the world could be right in your hands, but if you do absolutely nothing with it, you will go absolutely nowhere. You will see absolutely no change. Because information alone is not enough for growth. Action is the part that a lot of these gurus and teachers are skipping. Because it's not as easy to sell as feelings, making you feel motivated, making you feel like you can do the things. Inspiring you to change is so much easier than actually getting you to change, because getting you to change requires you to actually take action. It requires you to do some hard work. It requires you to get your hands a little dirty. And a lot of people don't want to hear that. The personal development space has grown quite a bit since COVID, with a lot of people wanting to improve their life and recognizing how important mental health is. I absolutely love that. I love that we're all getting aligned and wanting to improve our lives. However, I think it's important to recognize that a lot of the gurus, coaches, and teachers that have become famous, wealthy, popular, have become that way because they are simply selling feelings. And if you've fallen victim to the trap, like thousands of people, and you were motivated and inspired, but then you didn't actually see real change, I just want to let you know that it's not a failure on your part. It's simply that you didn't know that you actually had to take action. Your favorite it girl, influencer, self-help coach did not become famous and wealthy simply by changing her mindset. She didn't become wealthy and famous simply by motivating and inspiring herself every day. A lot of these people did not become who they are simply by affirming to themselves that they are amazing. That's not how it works. Yes, affirmations are great. Yes, believing in yourself is great. However, what these coaches and gurus and wealthy entrepreneurs are not explaining to you is that they are putting in the work. You don't see it on social media because you're not supposed to. It's not glamorous. It's not pretty. But putting in the work is required to actually see a result, to actually see change in your life. Think about anybody that you know that is wealthy, that has acquired wealth. To the public, they may make it seem like it's easy and effortless and they just woke up wealthy one day, money just slapped them in the face. That may happen for some people sometime, but the reality is a lot of people that are wealthy accumulated their wealth by working hard, by putting in the actual work. And I want to use this person as an example because I just watched some tidbits of a documentary. Beyonce make what she does look so freaking effortless. But we all know, if you don't know, I'm going to tell you, I would encourage you to watch a documentary of Beyonce preparing for a performance. She puts in a lot of work. There is a lot of effort that goes into looking effortless. We've heard about the diets that she does. We've heard about how strict she is with her choreographers. We've heard about how strict she is with the set production and directing and all the things that goes into it. She's very hands-on. She puts in the work. And when you see her, you see how effortless and flawless it is. And you see how glamorous and beautiful it looks. There is a lot of work that goes into having an amazing and beautiful life. And that's another thing I want to slightly get into. Social media has popularized this whole like trad wife life and soft wife life and being a woman of ease and luxury, if you will. All of that is amazing. All that is great and it is achievable. I want it for you and I want you to want it for you. But I also want you to be realistic with yourself and recognize that a life of ease is not going to come simply because you thought about it, right? A life of ease and leisure is not going to come from you affirming to yourself every day that I deserve a life of luxury and ease. You can repeat that affirmation over and over and over again until you are blue in the face and have no breath left in your body. But it is not going to change your reality. It may change your mindset. But what is actually going to change your reality is putting in some work. What are you going to do to achieve that life of luxury and ease? Are you going to go out and find a man to pay for it? Are you going to go start you a business? Are you going to go get you a high-earning job? Are you going to win the lottery? What are you going to do? What is it that you're going to do to actually create the life that you want? A lot of the people that you see online in the media that have these glamorous, luxurious, and beautiful lives, they are only showing you a teeny tiny piece of the picture. If you zoom out, if you look at all of the details, they are putting in a lot of work behind the scenes. There are people working day in and day out starting businesses. There are people working tireless nights for their high-earning jobs. There are women putting in a lot of effort into their looks to attract the certain type of man. It's a lot of work. And as I've mentioned in previous episodes, yes, it's hard. It is hard to get the life that you want. But you know what else is hard? Not having the life that you actually want. So you have to choose your heart. Trying to make change in your life is uncomfortable. And that's okay. That's something to accept and get used to. Trying to make change in your life, any type of change, regardless of how big or how small it is going to be uncomfortable, and that is okay. The discomfort that you feel from doing the work is a sign that you're actually doing something right. And once you get into the habit of taking action, of actually doing the things that you know you need to do to see change in your life, that's when the motivation follows. And you no longer need it from outside sources. You no longer need to hear affirmations on YouTube. You no longer need to listen to a motivational video right before you do your work. You no longer need all of this outside validation and encouragement because you know that as long as you do the thing, that you're moving. Okay, you're getting further ahead. You're getting closer to your goal. That right there is motivating. I have been wanting to start this podcast for years now because I have had it on my heart to really speak on what I know and what I have learned since rediscovering myself and my womanhood and in my femininity. And like many of you listening to this podcast, I waited, I studied, and I researched. I jotted down ideas, and I planned, and I planned, and I planned, and I said, I'm going to do it when this happens and when that happens. And eventually, I got to a point where I realized that I'm just sitting on all of this information and doing absolutely nothing with it. And I have planned and thought and researched, and it has gotten me absolutely nowhere. So I woke up one day and made the decision to simply try. Just start somewhere. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a full-on thing. I don't have to get 1 million followers. I don't have to do all of the things that I thought I needed to do. I simply need to act. And like you, in order to actually create something, in order to actually get somewhere, you need to act. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be great. It doesn't have to be properly executed. It just has to be. That is how you see change in your reality, by actively trying things. Put it out there. See what happens. Put it out there with no expectation other than to try and to see what happens. That is how you get moving. I started creating this podcast about a month ago. And when I sat down and filmed the trailer, just the trailer, I got so motivated to continue. I said, wow, I should have started this ages ago. All of that thinking and planning and researching I did, thinking I needed to do all of these different things when all I needed to do was sit down, talk, and be myself. That's it. Anything else, all the information that I've learned so far wasn't even necessary to get to the point where I am now. All I needed to do was to start. And I am learning along the way what I actually need to know in order to continue growing. And that is why, again, I say action is so important, because a lot of us, like I mentioned, get stuck in this research and thinking phase and thinking that we need to know the right things or we need to have all of the information before we can start. But most of the time, you don't actually learn what you need to learn until you actually do the thing that you need to do. And so I say all that to say, you don't have to feel like it. You just have to do it. Like Nike. And if you are on your journey of leveling up and becoming your dream woman, I want you to subscribe to this podcast. And if you like to listen to your podcasts on the go, the Know Herself podcast is available on Apple and Amazon podcasts. Know Herself is built around implementation, not just inspiration. And if you are looking for a guide or some help on your journey to glowing up and becoming a better woman, I would love to assist you. You can head over to my website at knowherself.co for more information. Thank you so much for chatting with me. Stay beautiful, and we'll catch up next time.